Sir, what are we working out today?
Chest and back.
Chest and back, nice. How many days? Wait. People want to see you.
Oh lordy.
Oh lordy. There we go.
Spotlight.
There we go. Okay. How many times a week are you hitting chest and back?
Twice.
Twice each?
Mm-hmm.
Is it usually on the same day like that, chest and back, or?
Monday is back day or pull. Tuesday's push. And today, which is Friday, is chest and back. I know a lot of people may be wondering, oh, what's the difference between a pull day and a back day?
Yes.
It's a pull day, has a little bit of everything. So you got your rear delts, not just back. It's you got your rear delts and you got your biceps. It's the only difference. And then push, you just add in shoulders and triceps. So typically that's how people like to separate the two. But yeah, chest and back today too. We've been upping the volume a bit, so we may do 3 exercises today. So the 2 normal medium potatoes movements, and then maybe one for like one of each for like a pump. So
okay.
We'll see what Joe has planned for the day.
We'll see. This is your second meal going in, right?
2. Yeah, I'm running a bit behind, but it's whatever.
Hello.
Hola. Good morning. Favorite top 2 bodybuilders and why?
Favorite 2?
Not physiques, just overall.
Yeah,
just
for sure. Dorian's definitely on the list. Honestly, I would really have to think about it. So Dorian Yates for sure, hands down, just from like a actual, all the stuff he did standpoint.
Okay.
Like all of his actions, his thought process. I always joke too, like there's 8 million things people don't know about Dorian. Like people don't know, this is a joke, but Dorian invented If It Fits Your Macros. So people, he technically didn't, but this story is funny because nobody else was doing this shit. But everyone always uses Dorian as an example of being like super strict and hardcore and a monk, which in certain ways he was, but he's also so smart that he didn't do stuff arbitrary for no reason. So his first bunch of contests, he used to eat candy bars in his macros. And his whole thing was like, guys told me, he's like, you couldn't eat candy bars and get in shape. And he's like, but I was like, well, if I'm in a calorie deficit, like why the fuck would it make a difference? And he's like, so basically there's like a little treat every time he was done training. He would eat like a whatever fucking candy bars they have in the UK. And so he would literally all the way up, I don't remember how many shows he did this for. I know for a fact he said his first show or whatever, but he ate a candy bar every single time he was done training, just included in his total calories, and still got shredded. Because again, it was just like the old school mentality, you can't eat anything bad and get in shape. And he was just like, well, calories are fucking calories. So anyway, I make the joke that was probably in maybe the early 90s or late 80s when he was doing that. So he started If It Fits Your Macros. And then the other 2 would probably be between Jay and probably Arnold. And so some of it's obviously just for like Arnold. Like Arnold's the person that like got me into bodybuilding. So there's like a huge part there. That's like the first couple of bodybuilding books I bought. Arnold Encyclopedia of Modern Bodybuilding. And just honestly, there's something to like the glory days, like reading about bodybuilding, like the late 60s all the way through like the late 70s, just like an awesome era, and largely because of Arnold. But then also Jay, just because Jay's awesome. So from like a pure business standpoint, like one, I do like, even though it's not like, I would say like my favorite physique, I still love his physique. I probably don't relate to it as much because I can't get that big. Not most people can, but obviously had a crazy physique. But also he's a guy you never hear anybody say a bad word about. And he's also a guy that everyone's just like, the prototype of like someone that's a smart businessman as well too. So he was successful while he was bodybuilding, and he's arguably even more successful now after competitive bodybuilding, and he still looks awesome. I always hate that. Like obviously you're not supposed to stay like, you know, off-season contest shape like you're around. Like some people are confused about that, but I feel like if you're a bodybuilder, you should at least look fit over the course of your life. So I always hate when bodybuilders either just turn into fat pieces of shit or look like completely like skinny, like they've never touched a weight. And so it's like, obviously, you know, these guys have great genetics. So as long as you're just doing something, like, you know, go and catch a pump, make it part of your life, the thing you're supposed to be promoting, you're still going to look good. And so Jay's the perfect example. Like he doesn't look like a beat up, used up, broken bodybuilder. He just, if you know who he was, you'd be like, dude, that dude looks like healthy and jacked for however old he is. So that's my top 2.5, 3. It's a tie between Arnold and Jay.
Okay. Well,
the camera on me.
No, because now you got to tell us.
Oh man, number 1 is definitely Lee Larada. Just from a pure like that's his life is what I want to be when I'm like, I don't know, he's 60 years old. He's awesome wife, awesome kids, great business, still in good shape, great shape. Again, I've never heard anything bad said about him. Yeah, all around just awesome dude. Yeah. Besides him, I would say probably Jay Cutler too. Jay Cutler would be my second. For all the same reasons, great businessman. I do like, he's very real with himself and real with the fans. So some things I've heard him say is like he liked his physique before his Olympia wins. I would agree. I liked the physique better when he was younger. It was more aesthetic. He's also said, he's also really clear that he didn't beat Ronnie at his best. And a lot of people wouldn't have the ego would be too big to say something like that. They would be like, oh, I beat the great Ronnie Coleman. Nah, you beat up Ronnie Coleman, and he's very realistic about it. I also like the fact that he kept going. I mean, if Ronnie wasn't there, he would probably have the most Olympia wins, tied with Lee. Yeah, he's just awesome. Like I've learned some stuff from him too, like how to do like business stuff. Like Joe said, like when he first started out, he would just reach out to all the promoters and see if he can guest pose at the show to build up his name. And I did a lot of that too early on. I just reached out to everybody. I got a lot of no's, obviously, but I got a lot of yes too, And when I've talked to him, he's always been really kind. He doesn't know who I am, or didn't know who I was at the time, but he was always nice. He always gave me good advice. He even helped me to set some stuff up on a military basis like he does, because he supports the troops, which is also cool. And like Joe said too, he's still a great name in the sport. He's still doing awesome things. He's got his bodybuilding shows, he's got his podcast, he does his YouTube channel. And the cool thing about his YouTube channel is it's not just about him. He brings on people all the time to provide content and to kind of get their names out there as like a platform. So yeah, my two.
There you go.
I had Lee in my list as well too.
Oh, come on. No, he's got 3.5.
The funny thing is honestly, because I always thought of him as having like one of the most perfect physiques. But honestly, never like coming up, I wasn't like, oh, Lee LeBron is my favorite. Like once you meet Lee and like know Lee, like he's like human goals. I almost don't think of that outside.
For sure.
Like, go. So for sure,
holistic.
I totally like as far as anybody in the industry looking at what he's done, the way he lives his life, and where he's at now. That's I agree with Terrence 100% on that.
So there you go, top 2 or 3.
There you go.
Yes, Arnold is the GDA, like shuttle cards into the Met Seals. Yeah, it's been using this for a while. I'll do 2 caps before workout, and then I'll do berberine post workout, I guess. So, you want to start with my actual sword actually.
Oh yeah, let's do calves.
Okay. All right.
Starting with calves.
I always forget. As soon as I would open my abs.
I could try to do some abs. All right, starting with some calves and abs.
Calves and abs.
Trying to improve those. Definitely want to like thicker abs in the midsection. I don't know where else the abs are gonna be, but yeah, definitely in the midsection. And then we're gonna do some calves, cause calves matter.
Calves do matter.
Whole purpose is when you have the ab map, you get a little bit more range to like go back. So definitely a good idea to have this to lengthen your abs, a little bit more range of motion. But if you kind of think of it in terms of a different body part, it would be like if you don't have an ab mat, it'd be kind of like doing floor presses all the time where you stop here instead of going back as far as you can. So pick these up, they're on Amazon. Ab mat, this one's Synergy, 10-15 bucks. You get better abs. So yeah, we're doing calves, and basically, personally, I like that exercise there because it's just less stabilization. When you're doing a standing one, you gotta brace your core a lot more. You gotta worry about your back. You gotta think about all these other things. Whereas with that one, you cut out the whole upper half of your body, like having to stabilize. You just have to focus on your knees and your ankles. So it's a little bit nicer, a little bit less thought process, and you can focus more on just moving heavy weight, which is nice. So yeah, that's exercise 1B. Yeah.
1B. Okay. What are we doing now, sir?
Getting muscles.
Yeah, getting muscles, like y'all say.
Oh yeah.
We're working. No, we're doing Nautilus chest press and Nautilus pull down. Yeah, Nautilus is literally my favorite stuff, this whole Explode series, but this is mainly for lats. You know, everyone talks about, oh, how do you, what was it? What did they say? How do you work your lower lat?
Lower lat.
Yeah.
No, they don't even say lower now. Now you say your, what did you supposed to say? Iliac lats.
Oh yeah, okay, my bad. That's the
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna be working our iliac lats.
Excellent. I've been wondering.
I mean, it's simple. All you do is keep your arm close to the body.
Oh.
Drive down like that. Yeah, that's about it with that exercise there. There's some other stuff, but that's the biggest thing. And then we're gonna be doing some just pressing movements. Personally, I like this one just because it converges, so you can it comes in, you know. And yeah, that's the exercises for today.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thoracolumbar fascia. Thoracolumbar fascia is the fascia from your lat that attaches to stuff that shares around your pelvis and attaches to your ilium. And so we can't just say lower lat because that's bro science. You have to say your iliac fibers. And then they have the ones that are your, you know, that attach more through your thoracic vertebra and your lumbar vertebra. Stupid nerds.
Who cares? I want to be huge.
Fancy talk.
Get juicy.
Just what do I eat? Just what supplement do I take?
Just stop telling me so much. It just tells me how to get muscles. But yeah, I mean, that's fancy talk for us. Some of your lat muscles attach like more vertically, and some of them attach more horizontally, and some of them are in between. So different exercises work those, bias those a little bit better than others, I guess.
plates for the Arnold stage?
We'll see.
One of those plates is very wide.
Yeah, that was actually a 50.
Oh.
Maybe.
Some of them, yeah, we don't really know.
They
Exactly
wrote
what those
50
are.
on them. So.
Oh, okay. True muscle confusion.
Between 45 and like 49.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they were in the back up. So I'm guessing realistically the 80s, possibly the 70s. I actually was trying to figure out how old they are. But back then weight really was heavier. So those guys were just more badass than us.
Oh, man.
And that's actually not a joke too. You go in, if you're
actually lifted like 9.
probably, yeah. I mean, if you go into the gym and you lift with rubberized weights, they always weigh less than they say, and that's not a joke. You go into the gym, the second you get them and they start touching stuff, they start to shed. And so you have anything that has urethane on the outside, rubber on the outside. From the second they go on the gym floor, they start losing weight because they're going to the gym.
Yeah.
Dad joke.
Ayo.
If you weigh most of them, 44, 43, 42, depending on how old they are.
Yeah, that is.
Joe, this looks like some bodybuilding sorcery over here. What's going on with these 2 ropes? Can you describe to me what you're doing?
I'm doing a pullover. So I don't know who invented it. Somebody invented it, so it's like it's a pullover, like people do with a dumbbell, except with a cable, because it's better. Because you can make it heavy at the top, in the middle, and all the way to the finish. So just a pullover. Say whoever did this with their arm first, pulled something over their body, invented pullovers.
Okay.
Cable just makes it again so it's heavier through the entire range of motion. And then the 2 ropes, almost any time, the bigger someone is, the better it's gonna fit if you have 2 ropes overrun. If somebody has 1 rope, it still works fine. But as you get Terrence width, 2 ropes works way better. Yeah. And just the more comfortable your arms can move, again, like Terrence said, the pull down, you just want your arm moving at your side. If you've got them pinned together, you can't move them at your side as well. And the only thing with the bench, honestly, it's nothing fancy. It's the same as like the difference. What's the difference between like a bent over row and a chest supported like T-bar row? The difference is you have other stuff that holds still. So same as you said with the calf raise. Anytime I can take other stuff out of it, you don't have to stabilize your hips, your spine, everything else as much. Push your chest into that pad and just pull over.
Love it. Yeah, hell yeah. Hold on, let me swap sides though.
Yeah, we'll give a little training golden nugget. Because I was thinking, I made a post about that a billion years ago, about how people hit that pose, because I don't think people even know what muscles is, so it's a nice balance. So I might have you do
haven't I? Or?
No, that transition.
Oh, okay.
And why, like I said that, so I think someone would find that interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, little secret golden nugget of posing here, and this crosses over the balance of the art of posing and actually knowing some nerd shit and where there's some benefit to it. So I'll have Terrence hit his transition into a rear lat spread. So anybody's seen these poses before, like there's an iconic photo of Ronnie Coleman where he hits that transition into the rear lat spread, and you can see all of this shit in his lower back, the separation. So Terrence is shredded, so he's gonna demonstrate for me.
Almost shredded.
Yeah, he's almost shredded, so it's gonna be even more nuts. But as he transitions, you can see this stuff down in here. All right, and so when Terrence was hitting this the first time, a lot of people think when they're seeing that, see how he extended there. When he was hitting that the first time, I told him not to extend. And a lot of bodybuilders want that. Like, oh, I want that separation. I want that badass looking stuff back there. And because it's on their lower back, they think that's erectors. What you're seeing is not erectors in that position. It's literally your lat tendon. So again, obviously what should make sense is if your erectors run this way. So if you think about muscles contracting, you know, they basically pull from here to here is somewhere, and they pull the spine this way. So if they pull the spine this way, why would there be anything running this direction? It's because they don't. So your lat tendon runs right over top of your erectors. So when you see all that gnarly shit, again, bodybuilders, you don't have to know what it's called, well now you do, but all that gnarly shit in there, what you're seeing is not erectors. So you can't visibly train that stuff except maybe making your lats bigger. As your lats get bigger, tendons will get bigger as well too. So if you want this to show more, number one, you just have to be leaner. That's the biggest reason some people can't see it if you can't. But you want to push that stuff out. So if you arch your back, basically you're going to loosen that. So hit it arch, so arch and then transition. You can see all this kind of disappears. So what you really want to do is you want to round, so spinal flexion round, literally push your erectors out and then transition. So pull that back, Terrence. So when this is rounded, your erectors are literally pushing out this way, and then you'll be able to see that a whole lot more. And we'll come back and do this video in 5 weeks when this is fucking inside out as well. But when you're doing that transition, a mistake, because people think it's erectors, they go, oh, I'm gonna extend and contract my erectors, which makes it actually show up worse. So if you're shredded, you wanna actually round your erectors, and then in that position, pull back, and then literally your erectors will push up, and they'll literally push up that lat tendon and make it actually look more visible. So that's another thing as well too. People are like, I'm gonna go train my erectors so that Christmas tree looks better. What you're seeing is not erectors. You can't see your erectors in any of those poses. You can see them a little bit more when you relax, but when you actually literally have paper thin skin and pressing into that, that's lat tendon that creates that gnarly look going that way. So, and that kind of stuff too. Obviously Terrence is 1,000 times better poser than I am, but even when you're an amazing poser, it's good to have somebody giving you feedback on your back poses. And sometimes I don't even tell them what I think. I might be like, oh, try this or try that. But then just basically video it, and I'll say, okay, do this position, and then he can look at the two differences, and then he can figure out what he likes better. So even if you know how to pose, most people haven't figured out how to see their back. For sure. It just takes around in circles. But something except you have a badass posing room that has a mirror that you can see. But there's your little hashtag pro tip. Bro science slash real science.
The Joe Nugget.
Joe Nugget.
Joe Nugget.
Joe Nugget. I love it.
The more you know. Dude, put a rainbow graphic right here.
Joe Nugget.
That's definitely great advice, guys. I always say, it's a good idea to understand the body, understand how muscles function, how they work. Just knowing basic anatomy is just gonna help you overall as a bodybuilder. To be honest with you, not just with posing. So, yeah, learn a bit, open a book. You'll be better about it.
Read a book.
Well, that's the cool shit with Terrence, because obviously he understands all of this, and he understands the art of posing better than anybody. So it's very, very interesting with all the posing stuff he does to see how it ties together. If something doesn't look a certain way or he wants to fix stuff, it's like when he gets lean and we want to see his abs look different. That's why we're not doing like 4,000 different reps to try and carve in the details. Like, oh shit, I need bigger abs. Or if I'm having a hard time getting this to look the way you want to look, he knows what muscle it is, he knows what function it performs, and okay, well, how can we make that muscle contract better? So it's a cool thing where nerd stuff and the art intersect.
Yeah. Hope you guys liked this video. We talked a lot.
We did.
There's going to be comments right now. So the last videos were, you didn't talk enough, and now we're going to comment, would you guys just shut the fuck up? And welcome to the YouTube comment section, the place you guarantee no one is happy.
Yep.